how black am I, or validate my own blackness with my actions, or with how I move. And then you navigate that into a space where it's like, now I'm overcompensating because I'm in a space that's in the suburbs where I'm going to school with more white people than I ever have before, or more other ethnicities than I have before, because it wasn't just white people there. And feeling like I got to overcompensate because now I'm in an environment that don't look like how I feel like I should be looked as.
That's deep, bro.
And that was a whole lot of unpacking I had to do myself. But also another thing that I said in there in the conversation yesterday was, I know I wasn't free, but I don't feel like a lot of the men that I was looking up to was free themselves.
Exactly.
To give me the permission to be free. Welcome back to We the Outsiders, the podcast, where authentic brotherhood meets real conversations about life, growth, and everything in between, for real. My name is Tony Palmer.
And my name is Adrian Collins. And we also would like to take the time to thank all our faithful podcast family. And for the new ones, please come on in. Come on in the room. Let's talk about it, man. Yeah.
You're in the right place. Yeah,
You're in the right
real,
place.
man.
What's up?
Man, how we feeling today, brother? It's been a minute. I ain't gonna necessarily say how long it's been, but it's been a minute since we stepped in front of the camera, man, and really shot down the episode.
Yeah.
And really got to talk. We talked,
yeah,
but we ain't got to talk to our people, man, or be there for our faithful listeners. Because I know you get the questions like I get the questions, man. When the next episode? Where y'all been? When y'all recording? But it's a blessing to be back, bro. How you feeling?
Yeah. Man, I feel blessed. Just being in this space. Even for the, and for the ones that reached out to us and, asked about the pod, and y'all don't even know the type of battery it puts in our back, because we share it amongst each other too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, you don't believe who just asked me. So, it's just an overwhelming feeling. Just being so thankful just to be sitting up in here and in this space with my brother and have these real conversations that we will have off live, you know what I'm saying? So being able to share something that is very meaningful.
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
Meaningful for me. It's like, man, I don't mind sharing it if people really want to, lock in and tune in to what we got to say. So with that being said, man, it's been a minute, bro. Practicing, trying to get back into this muscle of putting this camera back in my face and being able to talk. But, I always had that little reminder, like, you've been here before. You've been here before, and sometimes we think we need more to try to comfort that feeling. But, you know what I'm saying? It's sometimes it could take just a little bit of that to help you be like, all right, I don't need nothing more. This is it. I've been here before, and let me get back into this rhythm with my brother and with my people. You know what I'm saying? The people that support us. Man, that's real love. When you got that support, no matter how long it takes.
And if we take the time to really sit back, not even just we, but if us as people take the time to really sit back and see everything that we've done before, like you said, it makes it a lot easier to be able to hop out there again.
Yeah.
We had a conversation in the pre-show about just, we rusty, basically. I made a comment talking about we rusty, but
yeah.
And true. But at the same time, it's like, we've been here before. So we did this before. God has seen us through it before. And the conversations or the comments we get about the podcast are from our previous episodes. And so just always being a reassurance or a reminder to ourselves. And it may not be something that you're doing. It may be something that you can see in your actions. It may be parenting, where it's like, oh man, am I doing a good job? It's like, well, look at your look, you know what I'm saying? Look at your markers. You know what I'm saying? Like, where were you? What kind of parenting did you have? Are you there?
Yeah.
Because sometimes that's all we got to kind of measure up against. Like, what was my pops doing, or what was my mom doing?
Yeah, that's real,
and
bro.
Just take the time to see where you at. And if you do take that time, you'll oftentimes see that you're a lot further than you. Man, see, we done started a podcast before starting a podcast.
I love it, man. I love it.
But it's people that need conversations like this, man.
Yeah,
to be with a brother, you may not have somebody who you can be transparent with. You may not have somebody who you can let your guard down fully with. Because even me
Yeah.
growing up, and I've talked about this in previous episodes, where it's like a lot of the relationships was built off of masculinity, where it's like I'm trying to
Mhm.
show, you know what I'm saying, I'm the, you know what I'm saying, I'm like that, or
Yeah.
uh uh whatever type of energy, and my energy was real toxic when I was younger because I was trying to be tough, all of that, but you may not have, or men may not have that space to really unpack, to really
Yeah.
just be. Or on the opposite side, they may have a spouse or significant other that may want to be a part of conversations because they have a perspective in things as well. Or it may
Yeah.
give them an insight on how a man may think or how to operate in a
Mm.
space with a man being this vulnerable. It's just so many layers when we
So
sit
many
down at a
layers.
table like this, bro.
Yeah.
And
So many
you know,
layers.
only God know who it touches and what it helps. But I guess this is my long way of saying I appreciate everybody that's been reaching out through, man.
Yeah.
It's nothing
That
like
is real.
community.
Man,
It's nothing like
I got a
community.
few things to touch on, but I guess I want to go back to what you said as far as like when you were younger, you had to play that tough role. This will probably be a conversation that I bring up probably for more towards like the younger youth, to be honest
Mhm.
with you, when I get ready to answer this question though. But we had a conversation just the other day, and you asked me, matter of fact, yesterday, you asked me, you was like, bro, you trying to go snowboarding? I ain't
Yeah,
gonna lie, I was
that
hesitant.
part.
I was
I
hesitant.
did.
I'm like, huh, yeah, but I mean, I be down, at this point in my life, I don't, I try to live my life as much as I can. So I'm like, yeah. And then you went deeper and you was like, bro, it's just like, I remember hearing it over the intercom in school, but I just didn't, you know what I'm saying? You had that insecurity. Talk about that, bro. I want that to be heard, bro. That was so deep. That was so deep. Because you never
Yeah,
know some of these
man.
kids that be in school and they have things, these activities at school that they have, and they hear that, but they don't do it just because maybe they around their boys and whatever the case may be. So
Mhm.
talk on that, and one of the things that you wish you could have had done.
Yeah, man. Um, that definitely was a conversation we had yesterday, man. But from a space of it's some things as I'm getting older and getting more mature, it's some things that I've always liked, gravitated towards, liked, but my surroundings, my upbringing, my teachings may have not allowed me to really operate freely in those spaces. And for that specifically. So as everybody who knows us, me and bro went to the same high school. Um, well, I came there my sophomore year, Westerville South. Go Wildcats, you know what I'm saying? It's just a shameless plug. But in high school, man, I heard over the intercom one day where it was like a snowboard team, ski and snowboard club. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, that'd be fire. Like, I always wanted to. And in my head, I'm thinking of the movie Johnny Tsunami when they snowboarded, and well, I think he came from Hawaii or something like that, where his whole family
Yeah,
surfed. And then they moved somewhere, and then they all start snowboarding. And famous Jet Jackson was in that movie too. He had the hat that had like the toboggan that had like the knots at the end of it. Whereas if I could, I'm gonna find a picture and put it up here somewhere in the episode so y'all can see it, those who watching on the visual side of it. But that's the stuff that was in my head. Brink,
yeah,
where they was skateboarding or
yeah, yeah,
rollerblading.
yeah,
I
yeah.
got rollerblades not too long ago because that's something I'm living out my childhood, man. And so yeah, when I heard it back in the day, I'm like, man, I would love to do that, but never said nothing to
Mm,
nobody,
mm,
and never was a part of it. Um, just for my own reasons, man. I wasn't free.
yeah,
I was going to a school that was in the suburbs with endless opportunities out there.
yeah.
Um,
What about
to do better, to be better. But yeah,
what about? I know you also mentioned too, which I thought was a critical part in that story you was telling me yesterday. But you also was letting me know your boys would be telling you like, you know what I'm saying, throwing it in your face. about your school, like, oh, you go to Westville, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
you had to feel like you had to prove yourself, like, nah, I'm from
yeah,
this hood. What you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
what?
man.
What's them
Toxic,
conversation?
toxic energy, bro. But yeah, I mean, through and through, it's a. So that in particular, just the whole thought process in particular is something it's a whole lot to unpack in there. So from the first side of it, of not being able or feeling like I'm not free enough to do something that I actually want to do because I'm trying to uphold this image of how black am I, or validate my own blackness with my actions, or with how I move. And then
Mm,
you navigate that into a space where it's like, now I'm overcompensating because I'm in a space that's in the suburbs, where I'm going to school with more white people than I ever have before, or more other ethnicities than I have before, because it wasn't just white people there. And feeling like I got to overcompensate because now I'm in an environment that don't look like how I feel like I should be looked as.
that's deep, bro. Mm,
And that was a whole lot of unpacking I had to do myself. But also another thing that I said in there, in the conversation yesterday, was I know I wasn't free, but I don't feel like a lot of the men that I was looking up to was
was
free
free.
themselves
Exactly.
to give
Exactly.
me the permission to be free.
Exactly.
I feel like a lot of the men that was around that I was looking at, or watching, or being able to see their life on display, I don't feel like they was free. And that was a big part of it from my perspective, not to put the blame on nobody else, but
Yeah.
as a young man looking up for another example of who I am, what I am, and trying to prove myself,
Mm,
um, that's what I feel like I was missing. And I feel like that would have been key for a man that thought like me, or a young boy that thought like me in that space. And so even how you started the conversation, we're talking to the younger generation, or the men that's coming behind us, because we at the age in life where, no, we not old, but we also not super young. So we have a lot of generation under us. We have a lot of brothers that's side by side with us, and even some um older homies that's right in front of us that still
mm,
may not have that example of what free looks like, or still may not
yeah.
have that example of what just being authentically yourself and not caring, being
Yeah.
unapologetic of, no, this is me, bro. There's
Man.
still a whole lot of that going on, and I feel like we're in a position to be the example of, bro, I know they say this is what, or um being in tune with your emotions is soft, bro, but this me. I might shed a tear when I'm
Yeah.
telling you how I really feel. Or I'm,
Yeah.
or like I said, that's how now I got a pair of rollerblades right on the other side of this basement. Um, I'm not afraid to go snowboarding now, or just tap in with anything, man. I'll kick a soccer ball. My nephew really into soccer right now.
Yeah.
I'll mess around in those spaces because, again, I don't have those, or I'm so far removed. That's what it is. I'm so far removed from those environments where that was frowned upon. I'm
Yeah.
I'm I'm removed from them enough to know that I don't care, that it don't hold no weight for me
Okay.
to go back into them and be who I am freely.
Mm,
And I just pray that I'm an example to somebody else that may think similar to that, dog. Because,
yeah.
man, I wish I had me now as an adult, or a father figure to me back then. And no shot to my pops. Rest in peace to my pops, by the way. Matter of fact, that's actually praise to my pops, because he raised a man who evolved in such a space where I can say something like that. Um, and that's a whole nother thing of it, man. People scared to talk about what actually has taken place because they think they talking down on something. And, bro, your story is your story, brother. My dad know I love him,
Yeah, that's real.
but and still, I would have loved an example of somebody that's free,
And
so I could have
yeah.
been free. But yeah, man, what was your thoughts on that, man? Because like I said, we did get into it. Um,
Yeah, I thought that was interesting, man. It was on my heart to just express just now. Sorry, I know that was probably random, but
no,
at the
you
same
good.
time, man, I know I talked on that too, and that's essentially how I was with track, and I don't think we had enough young black men like us at that time uh that that did things that we uh in our hearts wanted to do. Like for
Mm-hmm.
you, snowboarding, like we didn't see a lot of that, you know what I mean? Probably seen a lot of
Yeah.
white boys doing that.
Yeah.
Rugby, we had a few black men like that did that, right? Um, Shout out to Jay Hood. We mentioned him.
Yep. Shout out
Jay
Hood.
Hood, he held it down. Marcus Keechler. I messed up his last name. Lord forgive me, but he was dope too. He was dope too. But it was one of them things where you thought it was dope, and it's something that wanted to move you, and do it too. But it just wasn't enough. Maybe we didn't have enough to push us in that space.
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays though you see a lot of that though. And I'm happy to see that. I'm not too much in the schools though, so uh, I would want to
Well,
know,
seeing
like,
more
is that
examples
still like
of
a
it,
thing?
period, though. Because
Yeah,
I think social media is the play in that space where it
yeah,
gives
that's
you,
true.
you can
That's
see
true.
other people that look like you doing something, and they become niche topics on social media where you can look at a hashtag and see somebody else that look like you doing it, and maybe that's enough to help you to push you, you know what I'm saying, to move the needle for you. But we didn't have that, bro. And oftentimes, matter of fact, I
That's
know it
real.
may help some, but it's still some people that see lives that they wish that they could live out loud, but they so attached to the image that they've built that that's still not enough for them to, because that image that they built may come with this whole group of friends, this is how we
Yeah,
interact,
that's
years
real.
of experiences and years of this, and that person who you really want to be may break down all those walls, and you may
Yeah.
got to start from scratch, and
Mm,
that is scary. For a
yeah.
30-year-old, for a
Uh,
25-year-old. My
that's real.
my whole 25 years of existence have been this, bro. Why would I, doing this is
Mm-mm.
gonna start me brand new. And I already feel like I had trouble with friends.
Yeah,
That is scary.
that is scary, bro. That
That's
is.
actually that's something. Yeah, that's scary. I'll say that's scary.
Yeah, ain't no holding back, bro.
Nah, it wasn't a holding back.
Uh,
It was more of a pivot, but
uh,
I
yeah,
want to
yeah,
stay in that space because it's a lot there still to unpack, bro, because you get one life, you get one chance to actually, I won't even say one chance, but you do get one life to live. And
yeah,
we get caught up. So I'll turn the light back on myself. I was caught up for so long, and just to broaden it out and take it further than just the snowboarding example, but I was for so long, for too long, I was in a prison in my own thoughts where I'm like, I, it was things that I couldn't do, things that I couldn't really throw my full self at for whatever reason. Um, it could be image, it could be fear of failure, it could be whatever. But I do want to I do want to challenge everybody listening, including both of us. And we recently challenged ourselves to something different, and we could talk about that as well. That's coming
yeah,
up in April, but understand that time is not unlimited. So however long you are stuck, that's still in time away from the free version of yourself.
yeah, yeah,
And I say that to say 100 years, say you live to be 100, right? By the time you get to 100, if you want kids or have kids, you'll be with your kids, or your maybe even your kids, maybe even further than that, depending on how early you started or whatever that looks like.
yeah,
Their experience in this life can be directly attached to how soon you got free and then what you did with your freedom.
mm,
you may be thinking, because I was thinking this at one point and still think it at certain points. I don't say it out loud because it sounds crazy, but this is facts, where this thing that God gave me, this vision that God gave me, these wild dreams that God gave me, not even just on this platform, we are just in life, period. Things I want to do for my wife, the life I want my daughter to experience, and the kids that's coming after my daughter to experience, the things I want to do for my mom, my grandma, how I want to pour into the people who've took a role in molding and shaping me and pouring into me before I knew who me was, before I knew the man that God was making me to be. I have the thought of all of these things that I want to do, and how I want to execute them. And if I really want to make myself feel good, I'll sit back, close my eyes, and just think about it, or bring up a scenario. Hey, bro, what would you do with this much money? And I'll get this to this person. I'll surprise this person with this land. I'll go all up and down there and I'll do all of that and everything under the moon except the work that it takes to get there. Because the work don't always feel good. The work ain't always sexy. The work that I have to do today and every day after may take me 10 years to get to the place to do one of those things that I have in my head. That's the part that stops me. Because that's the part that stops people from eating right. I can go get a pizza right now, be ready in 15 minutes. It's going to taste good now. Or I can meal prep for 3 months and then you drop that 15 pounds that I wanted to drop for the last 20 years. That 3 months is way longer than that 15 minutes I got to wait to go get that Donato's light baked cheese pizza. So the decision is always, or oftentimes, I want what's right now. But what if that thing that you got, that vision that you got, that business that you got, that talent that you got, that purpose that's been put on your life, what if that takes 5 years minimum to see the fruit? What if it takes 5 years minimum to start getting traction? The longer you wait, the more you stuck in that jail in your own mind, the further you push off those results. But guess what else is being pushed off? My grandmother's getting older. Tomorrow's not promised. My dad died when I was about to be 19. I thought I was going to be getting him a big boy truck and, I'm saying, setting him up nice when I, made it or got set up myself. That's a day that I won't see because he passed already. So how many other people got to pass before you take something serious? How many other times do your back have to be against the wall before you say, man, I'm about to change this. I'm about to do something different. I'm about to start. Nobody got no problem starting. We just got a problem continuing after we start, man. Keep going. In the dog days, bro.
So,
but you done got me on a
what's
little
that
tangent.
keep going looks like? Keep going looks different for everybody after they start. They start, they finish, then you have whatever in between. So if it takes you about 5 years, hey, pretty. Sorry, baby girl just walked in. But baby girl. But yeah, essentially, like, if it takes you like 5 years and you started within that first year, not knowing that it would take you that long, but you have all these things that pop up that shits you down. Don't those account or accumulate over time to get you to where you want in the next 5 years eventually? But the starting over, continuously starting over. So people get frustrated. Like, I don't know how many times I had conversations with certain individuals, and I'm guilty of it too, where, I didn't heard them say about 3-4 times, like, in segments though, not like back to back, but it'd be like a little timeout. And they'll bring back like, oh yeah, I started working out. And then, time go by, man, I didn't started working out. Time go by, man, I didn't started working out. And I feel like like I said, I'm guilty of it too. I feel like going through that process in life, compared to somebody who's started and just got the ball got the ball going. You know what I mean? They haven't stopped. They'll even, once they on board, they'll try to pass it down. You got it. What's taking you so long? Like, you can do this and all that, depending on who's you got different motivators, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, like, what is that? Does that still account for starting over and picking it back up? Do we count those? If
Man,
definitely, if it got it to where, or do we count it to the point where when we actually are doing it, when we actually are working out, or whatever the case may be, or we actually are learning how to keep a job for once, like,
mm-hmm.
yeah, what is that?
Nah, so for sure, bro. And that's a great question, because as we talking, we not talking from the people who have figured it out. We're talking from the people who are in the thick of it as we speak. Um, it's a space where all of it counts. If
Yeah.
it takes you however long it takes you to get to that first whatever benchmark you set, all of it counts. Every time you stopped included, it all counts. But let's not play around, because still a part of that, there's some games in there. And what I mean by that is there's some times where you stopped yourself, meaning you could have got there sooner. And that's a part of everybody's story for sure. But again, let's leave the built-in excuses to the side. You kept stopping yourself. You kept putting it down because you lost momentum. You kept putting it down because you lost motivation. You kept putting it down because you was comparing yourself to somebody else's journey. And then it's going to come back to you because God put it in you. So it's going to come back to you, and you're going to have to start back from maybe a couple steps behind. Depending on how long it takes to come back, you might have to start from fresh again. But it's going to keep coming back to you because God put it in your heart. So yes, all of that time counts, where I stopped, started, started all the way up until my success. Yes.
Mm.
But the part that's not crystal clear, and the part that people use as a crutch, is that part in the middle where I put it down for 5 years. I put it down for 5 months. I put it down for 5 weeks, and what that looks like and how that compounds. So to say it like it, because I don't want people to listen to it thinking like, oh, that's like it's a part of your journey. Yes, all of that is very true. But this conversation started from a space of me not being free because I didn't feel like I had an example of what free looked like in front of me. It started that way. And that was back in high school. Right now, the conversation has transitioned into, yes, I didn't feel like I was free and felt like I could have been in a different space right now if I was around an example that was free in front of me back then. But now that's null and void, because guess what? For me, for bro, and for anybody else listening to this, you are the person who needs to be free. It doesn't matter who wasn't free in front of you, because now you have the information. Now you have sat down and realized like, oh yeah, maybe that's me too. Okay, now you're the person who needs to go free yourself. So that's not somebody else's excuse, including yours. So that's no longer your excuse either. And as I'm saying this, I'm talking to myself, but being all 100% honest with everybody here too, because everybody don't have no big bro. Everybody don't have a brother right beside them to tell them like, bro, let's do it. And we've said it 100 times. Shout out to the Secret to Success podcast, man. CJ said something. I don't remember when it was. It was sometime this year, but he said something where it made so much sense. And you said it just a minute ago, where you say you're going to do something, everybody hears you. You may post about it. Oh, I'm going to do something. You may delete that post. People remember what you posted, said you was going to do. They may never ask you about it. They may never bring it up to you again. They may never put you on front when you say for the 14th time that you about to lose this weight. but they remembered every time you said it. And so when that opportunity comes, when you're in a position for them to choose, do I want to go with this person or I want to go with that person? They're going to remember always, well, this person said something, but never did it. It's the same thing they do with your credit at the bank. When you get to a certain level of borrowing, when you get to a certain level of a relationship with a bank, it's the person that they trust in the money with, not your score.
Mm-hmm.
Not your credit. You may not have credit history, but you have a history of producing at such a high level where they're not denying you. And if you get denied, you can call the right person and say, hey, y'all denied him? Do y'all not see what he's did?
Mm-hmm.
It's who you are. It's how you execute based off of what you say out of your mouth. And I am probably one of the most guilty people of saying things because my intentions are pure, saying things because my heart is there, saying things because I feel like God put me in position to be this or do this or to help somebody else experience this.
Mm.
And then some of them fell through. And I'm held to that standard. So again, I'm not talking from a perfect place. I'm not talking from a perfect journey. I'm saying that, bro, there is no more excuses once you have the information.
That's dope.
Once you know what's holding you back,
Yeah.
from that point forward, you holding you back.
Yeah,
And so
bro.
that's where I'm at right now, bro.
Bro, you
That's where I'm at right now.
Bro, you sound like a I gotta say this though, bro. I've told you before.
What?
You're a real whole motivational speaker, bro. It's so
Oh
dope, man.
man.
My God, man. That was dope, man. But I know that's coming from a real space. That's not just saying it just to say it.
Yeah, that's real, bro. But
Yeah.
everything I'm saying, I'm not saying, and this is the thing that I run into when I was doing the This Wasn't Planned series on my social media platforms, where
Yeah.
it's like I'm speaking
Yeah.
from a space where they kind of put me in a box where people were scared to almost, you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
teeter-totting whether what conversations to have or how to act or how to be around me. And it's like, bro, I'm
Yeah.
not perfect, bro. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
I don't got it all figured out. And matter of fact, 100% of everything that I've ever spoke on or put online, I'm talking to myself, bro.
Yeah.
I'm talking to me because I need to hear it. I'm saying what my revelations are. I'm saying what I'm starting to understand. And again, it's only information. I still got to apply it. And I'm not applying everything, which is why I need it.
Yeah.
So be very clear, man. This ain't from a space of perfection. This ain't from a space of I'm on the top floor and you anybody else is on their way up the elevator. This is from a space of ground level talk, bro, like ground level grinding where I am going through the process.
Yeah.
We are going through the process
Yeah.
as we are speaking. It's been months since we recorded, and it's millions of reasons why.
Yeah.
Millions of reasons why.
Yeah, that's for
Things
sure.
going on in the family, things
Yeah.
going on personally, things going
What?
on financially, things
Yeah.
going on spiritually, things going on everywhere in every category
Everywhere.
possible
Yeah. That's
that
real.
you will only know if we speak on it. But because God put this in our heart, put this in our spirit, we're here to speak on certain things to free you up while we still getting free.
Yeah.
That's the blessing. That's faith in action.
Yeah.
We literally are doing things and speaking life into people as we still hoping for the same breakthrough that they praying for.
Amen.
That's the
Amen.
blessing in it, man. So just
Bro.
being a vessel.
Bro. I'm sorry if this podcast may come off like this is all about you, but I I really wanna all right, we may pivot. All right, we
Bro,
may
what
pivot a
is
little
you
bit.
on,
Hold on,
man?
bro.
I'm with
Bro,
you, brother.
people
I'm
needed to
with you.
see how powerful you are, man. And I'm not just saying like a god or anything like that, man. Just
No, sir.
being just using what uh God intended you to do on this earth, man. And I think you do call um when he calls, you answer. And
I
I've
tried to,
seen
brother.
I've witnessed that, man. And so I said all this to say all that to say this. Um we was in a space where um you know, you didn't have a job.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the layers you was talking about, like so much going on, family, spiritual attacks and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You said spiritual, but it's spiritual attacks, which
Yeah,
we believe in.
100%.
So, you know, it was a point that you didn't have a job, and
Thank you for saying that again.
I had
Appreciate
to 2
it.
times.
I'm with you, bro.
Maybe it's probably gonna come out a couple more times, so prepare yourself.
Nah, we good. All right, now before we continue the conversation, we wanted to take a moment to highlight this episode's featured brand, Curdy Bud Creations. Owned by Kirsty Wilson, Curdy Bud Creations specializes, that's right, I said specializes, in handmade beaded bracelets and accessories. KBK strives to create quality pieces for everybody, customized to fit your personality, your style, and your aesthetic. Whether it's for a special occasion or everyday wear, everything they make is from the heart through the hands. And you don't got to take my word for it. Go see for yourself at Curdy Bud Creations. That's KIRTYBUGGKREATIONS.Etsy.com. Go shop right now and tell them the Outsider sent you. But we're on the same
Nah, for
page.
sure. And seeing you now, you might not, you know, not showed up all the time, but from my perspective, I seen you show up in spaces where I know it for a fact. If I didn't have a job, I wouldn't do half of the stuff you had done. Flat out, I would have went dark. You know what I mean? Like, not a dark space, but I would have went into like shutting things down, if that's another term to use. And you know, it's times you showed up for, you know, my kids and my family. And then I having a dime. I don't know how you did it, and I don't know how Britt dealt with it too, but I know that was a tough space. Um, you know, so man, I want you to please, and please get as transparent as you can, bro. And I know it's a touchy space for you too, but you already know this is what the space is about. So I had to do it. You know what I mean? I had
It ain't
to.
touchy. It ain't
Yeah,
touchy.
okay, maybe in the moment, but now
Yeah.
you got over it. But man, please go into detail, every little detail, because you never know who might really needs that right now.
Yeah, yeah. So when I say it ain't touchy, I'm speaking from a space of just God's faithfulness, bro, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen ups, I've seen downs, brother. I'm gonna get cliche. But nah, yeah, bro, real space. 7 months without a corporate job. I'm a hustler by trade, so you know I'm a marketer. I'm a freelance my way into some spaces and do what I feel like I need to do, but without a steady check, bro. 7 months, not unplanned. So let's be clear. This wasn't a planned 7 month. You know, hop out, get you know what I'm saying, get the business pushed up. You know, hop out, do your thing. This wasn't one of those. This was one of those out of the blue. You know what I'm saying? Birthday month for my wife, couple weeks before. Yep. You know what I'm saying? And so being caught off guard in a space like that, already being in talks with you, my business partner, for a lot of different things that we had coming up this year. Some so I'll say it like this. I've always heard people talk about faith in a space where um it kind of it's kind of it was kind of hard to relate to. In a space where it's like the things that you believe in God for, or the things that they say they believe in God for, or believe in God to do, or believe in God to carry them through, sounded good, sounded almost storybook like, as they start saying what God actually did do with the faith that they believed in with. Um, so yeah, when I was without a job. I said it, I got fired. Um, from a position uh that they're going in another direction is what I'll say. Um, fire
Yeah.
if we black and white. So that's February. The November before, which 2024 was a crazy year in itself. I'm gonna just talk about the November before. I lost my dog, our first house dog, the dog that we got when my daughter was growing up. We had to put him down November 30th. And so with that being said, we wanted another dog. Me and my daughter, at least, was already in the market for another dog. We like, okay, a couple months later, January, we were looking. And right into February, we had just found what I thought was the perfect dog. That's going on. It's my wife's birthday month. So we had a cruise that was supposed to be a couple months later that we were supposed to pay on as well. So that's just a couple of different little layers. Add into that, I get laid off February. The dog conversation goes to the left. My wife's birthday month, my wife's birthday was kind of pushed to the back because now we have to realign and figure out what to do to sustain however long we need to sustain. With that being said, there comes things up where I need a major thing done with my car. Okay, that takes resources. On top of that, I'm shooting a podcast actively. At that point, we was very active. Then we had an event coming up. We had actually ended up having 2 events this year as well, which was our first 2 events. We years in the business. I mean, it just keeps going. I had a goddaughter at this point. I just got a goddaughter, so it's things that I want to do there. My nephew's always calling, and there's a space and things that I love to do, and standing in the space to be the best uncle in the world for my nephew. I mean, all of these things take finances. All of these things take resources. And my resources have just been cut. When you say showing up, and that's just the things that I can think of off the top of the head. It's so many different other factors when you go to just thinking about anything that plays out in any day. But just with those things alone, on top of us just being new homeowners, we had been in our house for just 2 years at that mark, and our mortgage had just went up, and then that news comes through. What else was happening, man? It's stuff that we needed around the house. So like as I keep thinking about it, things keep coming up, but just remembering all of these things as I'm processing a space where all my finances is cut like immediately. Showing up in that space, believing God to cover my household, believing God to cover our finances, believing God to continue to show up, even in business.
Yeah.
Something where our business, we the Outsiders, wasn't bringing in any money for us.
Yeah.
And yet still, without a job, we did 2 events in a year the only year that we did any events.
Yeah.
And the events happened to happen while I was without a job. Showing up to these places, planning these places, calling people, trying to coordinate everything, coordinating all of the moves, making sure we're here, making sure me and you is aligned, like everything, all of these moving pieces, all while still trying to stay afloat at home, all while trying to still maintain a marriage, all while trying to be the best parent in the world, all while trying to keep time for myself, all while trying to make $1 just to give my wife and my daughter what they need so they don't, my goal is so they don't have to feel what I'm feeling. I'm going without so they can trying to propel them to maybe they'll feel that bite a little less than me. Just all of the different things as a man, still showing up to Bible study on Mondays, being a part of Bible studies, smiling, encouraging people at Bible studies. Mended Mentalities was a success. Like I said, that was in June. Strides, our first community 5K, over 50 people showed up. That was in May on my birthday, months without a paycheck at that point. Showing up in these spaces and trusting God was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do because I didn't see it. I believed it, but I had no idea how this was going to happen. I had no idea how these things was going. I had no idea how my mortgage was going to be paid on a month-to-month basis. Hustling, trying to figure it out, trying to pray, trying to obey, trying to be present at the same time. If you seen me in those 7 months, you wouldn't have guessed
Yeah. Yep.
anything I had going on. I'm still the life of every room I walk into, showing love to every kid, showing love to, pouring into people. But I say that to say, man, that's something that you brought up, and I probably wouldn't have brought it up in that space, but I will say it ties into the same thing that we talking about here, man. Not having the example is not is it can't be the excuse anymore. I can't tell anything that expected something from me. Any bill, any room, any brother, any married couple, um, any prayer request at Bible study, any homie that needed a shoulder to cry on, any request from my child, anything that my wife needed me to show up for as a husband and a man who's still leading her and a house. I can't say I didn't have this growing up, so I don't know how to manage this. Or at least that's what I'm saying. That's not an answer. So who do I go to? I go to God, bro. I went to God. So
Yeah, bro.
maybe not the best at painting the full picture for you, but I went to God. And that may not be for you. That may not be how you was raised. That may not be for you, whoever you are listening and tapping into us. This is just two God-fearing brothers having a conversation.
Yeah.
But I go to God, bro. I went to God. And
Yeah.
God is amazing,
Yeah.
is what I'll say. So on the opposite side of all of those things.
Like, hold on, because I know you finna try to throw it back my way. Maybe. Hold
No,
on.
hold on, no. Before I throw you away, let me. This part needs to be said as well too.
Okay.
So in that 7 months, and from a
Mhm.
corporate space, it was exactly 7 months,
Yeah.
down to the day that I was without a job,
Yeah.
number of completion. But in those 7 months, God showed up and showed out. Me and my family, me and my wife, my daughter, we went to New Jersey, kicked it up in New Jersey for a little bit, was chilling with my mom. As a family, um, we went to Disney World, was down there for, I think about a week, kicked it down in Disney World, made a lot of dope family memories. Was at one of the parks for the after hour, had the after hour bracelet, was riding, I think that was Magic Kingdom. Um, was riding all the rides after the park closed down, was at Animal Kingdom the day before. Like we was down there kicking it, had an amazing time. God made a way. Then I went back to Jersey for 2 weeks. More vacations than I ever did in any other year when I was employed. God is amazing. My mortgage didn't miss any month. Mortgage was paid every month. Bills was paid every month. Um, Gas to get anywhere, food to eat. We didn't go without the whole 7 months. I already said a little bit of Strides, which is the community 5K, the first community 5K, the first event that we ever did as We the Outsiders, but it was a community 5K. Over 50 people showed up, changed numerous lives. God showed up. A week later, we had Mended Mentalities, which was a partnership with Vibe Venue. We had a little over 20 men of all ages show up and just pour their hearts out, put their hearts on the table, put everything they was dealing with on the table, and was able to pick up some gems, was able to get refreshed, was able to get that space to actually be seen. God did that. And then fast forward, man, I'm in a position now where, the funds ain't an issue. And every single thing that I prayed about, every single thing that I laid down at God's feet, not only did he keep me during that 7 months and 7 long months during the summer, kid don't got school, 7 long months, bro. Started at the top of the year, ended in September. God kept me. God kept us. And so I don't know what works for you. I don't know what works for anybody else, but prayer worked for me. And so that's how I was able to show up. That's how I was able to be as present as I was. And that's what built the muscles that you see flexing in those spaces where you like, I couldn't have. That ain't
Yeah.
me, brother.
And
But that's why I wanted to put the button on that. But
yeah, and that's real, bro. I was definitely gonna get at like on the other side of things, and you touched on that, and I commend you for that, bro, a lot, because you know, like I said, I myself, I don't, I know I mentioned it. It's like, dang, I don't know if, but seeing that I have a family, and my kids and my wife, like, I'm sure I was gonna make something shake. You know what I'm saying? Or just showing up is what I'm saying. Showing up for my family, showing up possibly for my friends. But I only say that because that's a space I really don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't want nobody seeing me down or something like that. So, you know, you going through that before I did, I've learned so much, bro. I took a note on that. Like, I have no excuses, what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? I really don't have no excuse. Other than just making sure I do what I need to do with what I got. And sometimes I feel like that's what God sometimes challenges us on. What are you gonna do when you don't got this? What if this is all you have? And you know, and it gets deep when you're in that faith. Um, it 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 challenges you on a whole nother level. Um, and I commend you for that, bro. Yeah, I had to put that out
no,
there, man.
let's not just to be very clear, I think that's fire that you want to take the time to give me my flowers, and that's what and I'm gonna truly take them as my flowers. So I appreciate that. But I'm not who needs to be highlighted here.
Oh man, here you
So no,
go.
no, 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 no. Hold on, wait. I'm gonna go two ways. Hold on, wait. Stay with me. I'm gonna go two ways with this. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't know how that call got through. I'm supposed to be on Do Not Disturb. But
Yeah,
okay.
mine's did something similar too. You good?
But so this is very clear. First of all, for my story and my walk, God is the big picture. I'm the one who on the side looking up at him like, you sure? He the one who like, walk, son, go ahead, order your steps of a good man are ordered. I've been saying this a lot recently. This has been my new little punchline. But God can't order the steps that you don't take.
Yeah.
So
Real.
I was truly and honestly just taking the steps, bro, because I couldn't have orchestrated all of that. And I got a wife looking at me like, how we going?
Mm-hmm.
Baby, yes, baby. Listen here, come
Baby.
real close if you need to come close.
So
Oh,
Ah,
I don't know, but I pray. You
are
know
you
what I'm saying? Like,
are, are,
but
are you considered a weak man because you don't know?
you can feel
Aren't
that
you
way.
aren't you supposed to know that?
Uh,
I'm
it's
just
nice if it's
because you
nice
know
if you do.
that's a thing for some people.
Yeah.
For some people, like, what I would have had a job within a couple days, couple months. Like, what you mean? Like, make something shake.
Yeah.
Mm.
You
What
supposed to
about them
know
people?
from to a standpoint. And those people like because I had to hear it. And I had to
Talk
hear it.
about it.
And matter of fact, I know you would have heard that plus more because that's one thing your wife was saying to me. Like, dang, you still don't got no job?
Yeah.
And so I know you would have heard it crazy. But
I
not
would have got the business.
not
For
for real.
sure.
But no. To be honest, I was hearing that. And to an extent, there's a certain. So there was things that I was able to do, and move and make happen.
Yeah.
We're getting a position, making the same amount of money, but adding gas to it wasn't, and taking 8 hours of my day wasn't feasible. Where I could use that 8 hours to try to do something else.
Yeah.
So it was a plan. So for everybody, that same thing don't work. For some people, it might just be go take the first thing you could take.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I will understand and respect that.
Mm.
But I needed to be very clear. It's like, as we in these spaces, bro, and as you even highlighted me in that space, it's dope to take your flowers. So I do want to receive them. But again, I was looking up. I
Yeah.
was the one who, like, walking, yeah, you ordering my steps, but I'm looking back still like, yo, you sure this the way? You know, you ask somebody for, hey, where is this office? And they tell you, you go there, you turn to right. But it's
Yeah.
like two different rights. You like look back like this, hey bro, this right or the next one. That was me in that whole process. But what I will say about showing up, since you actually added a little more on it about yourself and how you see it, from if it was you, or if you do have a moment where you have to be in a similar position. For me, it's a space where it's like, I know I'm not going to always be here. I'm not talking about here. Yeah, everybody has a day that they go, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in a position where you don't want people to see you at. That is not your destiny. That is not your last position you're going to stand in. For me, and it took me some time to get here. You remember the little white Jeep truck I had? Used to ride around with the busted tire on the back. Yeah. That's one of the things that started that whole journey for me. But that's a whole nother topic. I talked about it a couple episodes prior. Maybe the one of the first episodes. But
Yeah.
being able to show up with in mind, I'm not always going to be driving this car. I'm not always going to be living in this apartment. I'm not always going to be wearing these shoes. I'm not always going to have to wear this same outfit. I'm not always going to have to show up with my hair looking like this. I'm not always going to have to, whatever it is that's a thing for you. Like I tried to mention, I mentioned a couple of them. Some people it's the car, some people it's where they live. Some people it's how they live. Some people it's what they wearing, they shoes. Some people it's the haircut, woo. Some people it's the way they speak. Some people it's the way they look. They out of shape. You know what I'm saying? Some people it's they teeth. Everybody has a thing. And whatever that thing is that it's only there because you haven't did the work yet. It's only there because you haven't been in the right room yet. It's only there because you haven't fully developed that skill set yet. For those things, if that's stopping you from showing up, a part of me could say you don't believe what you say you believe. A part of me could say, how sure are you that that's your purpose? How sure are you that you going to stay consistent enough to make this work? Because if that's where you stuck at, you believe that that's your end all. You believe that you're going to be there forever.
Yeah.
Because if you know in your heart, in your whole heart,
Heart of hearts, yeah.
that I'm only a matter of time away from being able to change all of this. I'm only driving this for a matter of time before I got my next car. It's a lot easier to show up in that car.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to show up wearing what you're wearing. It's a lot easier to show up with those broken pieces because you understand at the same time where you are getting a breakthrough or you getting a blessing, for those people who see you and may talk about you, for those people who see you and may clown you, for those people who see you and may have something to say in private about you, those are the same people that once you change that car, once you change that circumstance, once you change that environment, once you change your life, once you change other
Yeah.
people's lives,
Yeah.
they gonna have to fight their own thoughts that they said about you. They gonna have to wonder how hold on now, wait.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
driving that?
That's real. That's real, bro. That's real.
What kind of work God gonna do in their heart when they see that? They don't even gotta ever tell you. What
Yeah.
kind of work God gonna do in their heart when they see you driving that, or part of this community, or putting on your events that sell
Mm.
out, or selling your
Yeah.
merchandise that sell out,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
selling your album that sell out, or doing
Mhm.
whatever it is that he put on your heart, and you doing it at a high level. What kind of breakthrough can they have with seeing what God did in your life? Everybody
Mm.
like to watch the movies. Everybody don't like to be the movie.
Yeah.
They don't like to be the one who working to make it change.
Mhm. That's
But
real, bro. That's real.
it's gonna touch their heart. So yeah, that's the space that I try to think in, bro. I try to live in, bro, because I've had to be in that space where it's like I'm not gonna always be this. And the people who talking about me, they're gonna have to see me one day after I've stayed consistent with what God told me to do. And then when I'm sitting in my blessing, the biggest thing for me is to not be like, yeah, I told y'all. You know what I'm saying? I gotta stay.
Uh-huh.
I can't pop it.
Mm.
I have to stay rooted where it's like, God, thank
Yeah.
you. This
Yeah.
is because of him. Because if I'm not mature enough, it can backfire on me.
Yeah, that's real. That's
Where I
real.
where they see me popping and now I'm back down again and they popping it on me. I start that whole trend like, yeah, you thought you was popping. Where it's like, nah, it's not even what it's about, man. But just staying true to just staying true to where you started, staying true to the roots.
Yeah.
Where
Yeah,
if
that's
God getting
real.
you through, God brought you to it, he gonna get you through it. And when he gets you through it, like I said, the people
Yeah.
who you may not even have been a part of those conversations where they was talking about you gonna be a part of their blessings because they may come and
Yeah.
ask you, hey,
Yeah.
how did you go from here to here? And I hear you say God a lot, and I heard you say God brought you from there to there, but how?
How?
How did you show up? I remember you showing up. I heard you say that you was unemployed, but I came to the 5K and you showed up and gave everybody great energy. How?
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard you give gas money to somebody who showed up to another event when you were looking for gas money yourself. How? I just heard
Mhm.
you was unemployed for 7 months. What happened? How
Yeah.
are you able to do that and smile?
Mhm.
How are you able to show up and buy my kids something, your experience, and then
Mhm.
and then then answers God, brother. The
Uh,
answer's God. If you need the
eh,
cheat code, brother.
the
But
cheat
nah, man.
code.
So
Yeah.
I want to be very clear, and
Yeah.
I think I have been very clear. But I want to tie in any loose knots, bro,
Yeah,
as we
please do.
bring this episode to a close, man. But no, I'm gonna
Please
bring it
do.
with a question for you first. I'm gonna say
Alright.
it's a double-edged sword. Two questions. All right, I tried to get creative. Double-edged sword didn't really hit for me, but
Yeah.
um, two questions for you, bro.
Mhm.
What's something that you took from this conversation for yourself? And what's something you want people who listen to this conversation to take with them? Because we the outsiders, bro. We can't leave people in the box. We got to help them get to the outside of it. So what how would you answer those two questions? Um,
Yeah.
because you never know.
What I took from this was essentially um that no matter how long it takes, don't worry about how long it takes. I Because we don't know. In certain cases, we don't know how long certain things will take. Um, and for example, working out, and I'm guilty of it. I don't know how long it will take for me to keep saying like, man, I'm gonna get in the best shape of my life, and then things happen, and I let it derail me to doing whatever it is that's taking me off course.
Mhm.
Um, but all I can say is make sure you do whatever you can to get back on it. You know what I'm saying? No kid is riding a bike for the first time and riding it well. Um, And if it is, I'm sure it's a very low percentage of them type of, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
first timers.
That part.
And, you know, once you ride a bike and then eventually whatever you think about doing next as far as tricks and stuff, going to that next level, that's gonna take time. Now you want to do tricks with the bike. Now you consistently riding, and now we're doing tricks.
Yeah.
And so, you know, yeah, man, I take that it's just gonna take time for certain people. We shouldn't allow all this social media make us feel like we need to rush. You know, yeah, allow it to motivate you, but also be patient with yourself because we deal with so much in this life, and on top of that, more things are being added, more distractions are being added, on a whole nother level. So, you know, I think you just take it day by day. You take it day by day. That's what I've learned from our personal experiences, and you know, and I love this podcast. I love this space, and it's taking its time, bro. You know what I'm saying? We on simmer, and
Oh boy.
should I get in that bag? We on simmer,
Man,
bro. We and
that's
we
mm,
and the amount of support that we have over the course of the years, which I've said this in the beginning, it's very um very a blessing to know, because every time it's brought up, I always feel like it's just a sign from God, you know, and letting us know that we're
true.
literally touching people, and He need us to be here in this space. I really feel like we need to, not just me and you, but other individuals that we put on, and you know, and we're creating a platform for that. You know what I mean? So that's what I essentially took from our conversations today, bro. You
That's
know?
real. That's
Yeah.
real. And I mean, you kind of gave the people something you want them to take from it as well. But I ask you, do you have anything specifically or anything else that you want anybody else that's listening to this to take from it? If not, cool, because you did kind of do both. But I wanted
Yeah.
to
No, that was essentially it, bro. Um,
respect.
yeah, I'm always moved by our conversations though, man. Um, and you know, I hope I don't think I was coming for you, bro, but you
Nah,
know,
man,
it
I don't ever think
yeah,
that, bro.
bro. Yeah,
It was
it's
just one of
just
those ones where
yeah.
you
I
wanted to
want
dive into to my perspective, and bro, I'm here for it, bro.
yeah,
It's gonna be episodes where it's the opposite way around, and it has been episodes where it's the opposite way around. So,
that's true, bro.
those who've been here know. If you're new here, welcome. But yeah, stay around for a while, man. This is the place to be. This is where transparent conversations are happening. But before we get out of here, I will say, the thing that I took from this conversation, and I also say the thing that I want or I hope you as our listeners take from it. Um, but I'll start with the thing that I took from it. What I took from this conversation, this episode specifically, is that I don't personally take enough time to reflect. I don't personally take enough time to really see the dots that's connecting with the things that I've prayed for before. I put on a caption a little while ago. I prayed about it before I knew what it felt like. And so I remember the prayers. I don't oftentimes take the time to reflect and see how far God has brought me and my family. And I'm appreciative. So the questions you asked me had me going back and really just taking inventory on where I was and where we are now.
Hmm.
From that aspect, uh, even back how the conversation started, thinking about high school from a conversation we had yesterday, I still wasn't even in a reflectives bag. I just did say some real stuff, but I didn't really take the time to kind of reflect on how far that means I've come to today.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's
important.
important.
That's important. Yeah, that's
So
important.
that's definitely something I took from this conversation. Something I would want everybody else listening to take from it. In addition to that, if that's what you got, is that if you like me and you wish you had an example to where you was going and didn't have an example, whether you was a kid, whether that's how you feel right now. The fact that you're here taking in this information means you are the example you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
You are him, you are her. And the sooner you realize that,
Yeah.
the sooner you get to the other side of it.
That's real.
Because as I said earlier, if what God gave you is going to take you 5 years at minimum of you working, not life circumstances, not the other things that's going to come up along the journey. It's going to take 5 years minimum of you being consistent. The more you go spacing out them times that you in your bag, the more you go just being like everybody else, being in limbo, wanting to fit in with the crowd, the longer you waiting to experience the life that's truly for you. And
Yeah.
how many people have to pass, how many people have to experience the wrong side of life until they able to live on the right side that you are able to provide for them, that you are able to help them experience.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
all those timelines still going. My child is in high school right now, in 10th grade. She'll be graduating in 2 years.
Bro, I knew we talked about it, but every time you say it, it's just like, oh my God, bro. This is bro.
There's certain
It's
things that I
crazy.
want her to experience that she hasn't experienced yet, and it's because of me.
Mm.
It's because of me. And so that's just on a micro level, something that could be real tangible or real easy for people to relate to from a standpoint of an example. But what's your example?
Yeah, bro.
And you don't have to tell
Mm.
nobody, but think about it. Like I said, I want my grandma to be able, there's things that I've always said that I wanted to do for my grandma, that I've told her. I don't know if she remembers them, but I've said out my mouth and said things I wanted to do for her. Getting her a camper is one of them, because she liked she was like on the outside side. But she's in a space now where it's like, will she even be able to enjoy camping like she could when I maybe first said that to her?
Mm. Yeah.
But if I was, you know what I mean? 10 years ago would have been a different story. If I would have, so what are your examples, man?
That's
And
real. That's real.
don't let time pass you by, because it don't stop. And do
Yeah.
not undervalue yourself or overestimate how quick you can get from A to B, because only God knows and the
Only
time
God
goes.
knows.
So
There it
yeah,
is.
man. Hey, you know what it is, man. That was another
Hey.
episode in the can. I told you my name, Tony Palmer. I am Tony Palmer on Instagram, Tony Palmer on Facebook. I am Tony Palmer on TikTok, man. I'm a little bit everywhere. I don't post everywhere, but I'm everywhere. Tap
Yeah.
in with me. Tap
I
in
got
with me.
baby girl. It's okay. I got her. She popped in on me.
Where
Okay.
shall
What up,
live?
boo boo? And
Where
I
shall
am
live?
Adrian Collins official on all platforms.
Yes,
So you
sir.
can get in touch with me there. But yeah, man, this has been a beautiful conversation, huh? You want to say hi to the people, mama? Say hi. Say hi.
Hi, Livy.
Say hi. Yeah.
Oh
But
yeah,
yeah,
there
man,
she go.
tap in with us, man. I gotta get on daddy duty. But man, it's been
It's
love,
daddy duty.
family. If you made it to this point of the video, just know it's all love. It's authentic. We ain't hiding nothing. We ain't trying to make it perfect, but we are trying to make it worth it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah. Listen, like, subscribe, share. If it's somebody you know who needs this conversation, please don't hesitate to send it to them. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, please give us a rating. I think that's what it's called, rating or review. Please review the
Yeah,
podcast. Whatever you're listening to on, wherever you're listening to the podcast on, please give us a review, like,
yeah,
share it on your social media platforms. Tag us at We The Outsiders. Don't forget the 2
yes.
Z's, because We The Outsiders is on everything. TikTok,
Platform.
Facebook,
Yes, all platforms.
LinkedIn, YouTube, everywhere. Subscribe, like, share. We love y'all, man. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.